All right, Derby fans, my name is Joe Anino, and I am here with you for bout 14 of the Dust Devil 2019, the last bout of our tournament,
The finale. Ooh.
the grand finale of the 12th Dust Devil.
What do you think, Joe? Did it live up to the expectations?
And more.
My
That
God.
last bout alone was worth the price of entry, and I get in for free, so no. Let's run down the teams here. I'm going to start with the SoCal Kraken. 1011 Rogue Runner, 1022 Heartland, 11 Riled Up, 12 T-Bone Skate, 1211 Shell Shocked, 128 Elise the Kraken, 13 Mighty Ducky, 1836 Bruce Lee, 1935 Margaret Bleed, 2000 Electric Piranha, 328 Hollywood Hiplash, 33 Vermilion Valker, 360 Isabel Ringer, 389 Stiletto, 408 Taffy, 42 Nikki Two Skates, 7 Slamurai, 8888 Lala Tiburona, 934 Nocturne Alley, and the captain, number 303, Wreckham Ralph. The Kraken is coached by Bryn Diesel, Mishbehaven, and Taffy.
And it looks like we've got enough time, so let's go through the roster of Las Muñecas Muertas del Duke City Roller Derby. 10 Bamp, 1013 Hollis Idol, 11 Killer Queen, 1313 Hortesia Madams, 15 Harley Darling, 17 Puns of Steel, 18 Hypeful Terror, 213 Icebox, 24 Smackillery, 311 Betona Brat, 357 Cap'n Crush, 464 Induce in Agony, 505 Swearin' Marie, 55 Bo Derelict, 75 Tantrum, 78 Wench, 80 Meep Meep, number 9 Kells Inferno, and Captain Skellar 206.
All right, on the track we have Holly Seidel taking the lead jammer status for Duke City. Counterpart for SoCal Kraken, 1022 Heartland. There's an exclamation point on that, so I feel like I should give it a little extra. Heartland.
Heartland.
Heartland?
Ooh.
No, that's a question mark. Heartland? Heartland. That's an exclamation point.
Can I put an exclamation mark on 4 more points? Duke City. So Duke comes out, starts it off with a 12-4 jam against the Kraken.
Nice work there. They will give the star to Meep Meep.
Meep meep. Blah, blah. Versus 360 in the white. That's going to be Isabel Ringer.
They get a little high five in there, a little sports personship coming into jam number 2.
Meet Me working on that inside line, trying to push the SoCal defenders out. Cycles back to the outside, back to the inside. Isabel's working that inside line also. Blockers all mashed up at turn 2. Great move by all the blockers out there, staying with the jammers on the curve. Seen a lot of difficulty on that so far.
Meep Meep reminds me of an old typewriter there. It goes all the way to one side, ding, back to the other, all the way to one side, ding. Lead jammer, Duke City.
Meep Meep, jammer lead. Isabel Ringer, one more black jersey to beat. Killer Queen tries to get a last hit.
Initial pass complete for SoCal. Meep's knocked to the inside of the track, takes the advice from the bench and calls off the jam. Does pick up 3 points for the Muñecas.
And on the jammer line, in black for Duke City, number 55, Bo Derelict. In white for SoCal, number 1836, Bruce Lee.
We'll start with 5-on-5 roller derby and a clear penalty box.
Duke City blockers setting up on the rear position on the jam line. Jammers in white for SoCal in front.
Yeah, not in front by very much. Really, everybody pushed back to that pivot line. I believe Weirdo was calling that a cuddle party at the jam line.
She was trying to get me to start calling it a cuddle party. I'm like, it's not going to happen. And that's lead jammer Bo Derelict and power jam Duke City.
Forearm penalty on Bruce Lee.
And SoCal sending a caravan to the box. 2 blockers in the jammer. So Bo Derelict's going to try to take advantage. Does so one time at least. 4 points on the board.
Yeah, full house. Only 2 SoCal blockers out on the track. It's going to make easier work for Bo.
Two SoCal blockers skate forward, get called on the no pack, have to stop. Bo Derelict puts 4 on the board.
Looks like Bo knows how to score points.
I'm worried that joke's getting more and more dated. There's an outside press to the inside curve. Derelict picks up the points.
Did we just meet, Barth? All of my jokes are dated. More than I am, anyway.
I stopped learning jokes when Arsenio Hall was taken off the air. And there we go. Bruce Lee back on the track and initial pass. Bo Derelict clears through, puts more points on the board. 4 more on the board. 16-point jam. On the jammer line, Heartland versus Banff, the battle of the exclamation marks.
Very nice. Heartland has seen heavy use in the jammer rotation from the Kraken these last couple days. Banff, always a lot of jamming for Duke City, I believe. Every time I've ever seen Duke City since Banff's been there.
Very consistent jammer there. Heartland coming through, picks up lead. First lead, SoCal.
Banff still stuck in the start box there. Knocked to the outside, now recycling behind Electric Piranha.
Banff clears initial pass. Heard a whole lot of whistles, but everybody's still on the track. And that's the jam. 3 points put up for SoCal.
I'm a little curious how you get an Electric Piranha. Do you have to cross like an eel with the fish genetically or something?
Would you use a boogaloo?
An electric boogaloo?
I'm sure it would help.
That's the only kind, right?
Meet Meet versus Isabel Ringer.
Meet versus Ding Ding. I mean, that would be the sound of a bell. Okay, 3-on-3 pack, 1 blocker for each team in the penalty box. Isabel Ringer trying to get to the outside. Meep going right into the heart of the defense, and then Meep jumps to the outside and takes lead for Duke.
Draws the multiplayer block as well, so that's going to go ahead and send a SoCal blocker to the box. Isabel's out, Meep's out, everybody's looking for points.
Meep gets them. All 4. 4-0.
On the jammer line, 1-0-1-3, Holly Seidel versus Slamurai. So Slamurai I've seen in rotation pretty heavily as a solid blocker.
Yeah.
First time I'm seeing Slamurai with the star on helmet, at least at the start of the jam.
Sure, we've got a pack advantage for Duke City. They've got 3 blockers, the Kraken with 2.
Holly Seidel shoving a blocker out of bounds. That makes that a 1 blocker play for the moment there. Picks up lead.
Nice work by Skellalore from Duke. Knocking Slammer out of bounds long enough for Holly to get lead, Holly Seidel.
Slamurai able to catch up, forces the call off. No points going up on the board. Heartland versus Bo Derelict. Looking at the way these teams have been rotating so far in the tournament, I'm expecting this one to come up a few times.
Yeah, they've both kept fairly tight jammer rotations, one would say, I suppose. Blocker-wise, we're talking about a 4-2 advantage right now for Duke City.
Bo Derelict trying to take advantage. SoCal, the 2 blockers setting up perfectly right in front, though. Using the outside line for help as well. Multiplayer block, though, is called. That brings Bo lead jammer.
That means there's only 1 Kraken blocker on the track right now, and it is Elise the Kraken.
Better release that. Elise with the knockout, just able to stay in bounds. Puts the 4 points on the board. Great move by Bo there. It was such a good hit. You kind of hope it's rewarded.
The SoCal pack starting to reform here with 3 blockers now.
Bo Derelict just coming up, bashing through the middle. Duke had set up a pinch to the outside lanes. Bo Derelict outside line, knocked out of bounds at the last moment by Vermillion Valker.
Yeah, nice work there between Vermillion and Riled Up, who's done a lot of jamming as well, but solid teamwork blocking there.
Bo's coming through, got 1 more to beat. Riled Up, you mentioned. 4 points on the board. Pile up at the beginning of turn 3 is going to send Yep, that looks like Heartland's headed to the box. Power jam, Duke City. Harley Darlin headed to the box for Duke. Bo Derelict pressing the blockers forward. So one blocker headed to the box. Bo trying to work on the 2. SoCal drops a bridge.
Duke hanging back, playing a little bit of a passive offense there, not really doing anything.
Bo able to work the 2 blockers, though. Comes through and calls off the jam. That's going to go ahead and ice Heartland in the box for the power start, which is going to go to Banff for Duke City.
And another abbreviated pack, 3 blockers for each team.
Banff on the power start. Duke blockers setting up on the outside and staying back for passive. Banff the middle, outside, looking at the inside lane.
Meanwhile, Duke blockers forming up to a tripod at the back as Heartland exits the penalty box and reaches the engagement zone.
Direction penalty called against SoCal blocker, so as quick as one is released, one is headed back. Banff still needs to take advantage. One more set of hips. There's lead, no pack, and lead jammer, Duke City.
Banff shaking the head, acknowledging some of the information from the bench as she goes through turn 4.
Good knockout and recycle by Heartland back on the track. Jammers pressing forward, Banff on the inside. 3 points up, 1 unearned pass.
What kind of pass was that, Barth?
An unearned,
Okay.
formerly known as a no pass, no penalty. That's 4 points, though. That's fully earned pass. Both jammers again working against the backside of the defense. Banff tries an outside, inside S curve. It's successful. 4 more on the board.
Pat got stuck in the straightaway there for a while before making it now to turn 3.
Forearm penalty is going to go ahead and send number 206 in black. That's TLR to the box for Duke. Banff working the outside line, able to pass. 4 more on the band. Star pass is successful, so SoCal now running Rogue Rammer as jammer. Banff picks up points, calls off the jam. Timeout called, SoCal.
Big 18-point jam for Duke City. And jam number 8, they're up 65-7. 18 and a half minutes left in the first half of our final Dust Devil bout, Barth.
Another super fast game, it feels like.
So I want to admit that I lied to everybody all weekend, apparently.
Joe.
I said the RollerCon MVP pass raffle was at 3 p.m. today, and they changed it on me. So it's at halftime today, but that means you still have time. If you're in the house and you want to get raffle tickets, you can buy tickets for the RollerCon MVP pass raffle.
Work that advantage, get more tickets. Stop taking pictures with the fans and buy your raffle tickets.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting a selfie with the fans of the Dust Devil.
Do it later.
Hardcore roller derby fans that have... I bet there are a few people who have been out here for all 14 bouts.
I would not be at all surprised. I have learned more about my local roller derby from Tucson fans than I have from local derby skaters.
Well, you have to keep in mind, Barth, I think I've been watching Duke City longer than any of these skaters have skated for Duke City.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you. Don?
Oh, Don Bombshelter?
Yes.
He will tell you everything. He'll show you score sheets from 2006.
Meep Meep on the line versus number 360 again, Isabel Ringer. Isabel works the front side, picks up leads, SoCal. So it looks like a good timeout called by SoCal there, coming out, picking up lead, coming for points.
Yeah, when you've got that big initial deficit, I think it's a good idea. Regroup, come out and see if you can get an advantage, get lead, put a couple points on the board. Looks like that happened.
2 points for SoCal, but 3 points for Duke. Blocker in the box. That's a knot on the track. On the jammer line, Slamurai versus Holicidal.
You mentioned the one Kraken blocker in the box, giving Duke City the advantage.
Slamurai forcefully trying to open up lane 1 on that inside line. Swearin Marie for Duke, just able to knock Slamurai out.
I'll tell you, Duke's earlier about today, we got to talk a lot about Swearin Marie, a lot of good blocking work.
Swearin Marie's an OG, been around quite a while. Duke, Holicidal picking up lead, coming for points. 4 on the board and calls off the jam. And a matchup we've seen before, Bo Derelict versus Heartland.
We'll start out with 5-on-5 roller derby. No one currently being penalized.
Don't tell the skaters that when they hear there's a seat open in the penalty box.
We went over it yesterday. They don't have cupcakes or cookies in there. They don't let you pet kittens. Stay out of that penalty box.
And on that note, I heard a whistle.
That's a penalty to the SoCal pivot, I believe.
Yep, looks like 9-3 for Nocturne Alley. Lead jammer is Bo Derelict, but knocked out of bounds right after, recycled back behind 3 of the SoCal blockers. Hop and a skip, turn 2. It's a hard place to protect. Lead pass is good. Heartland trying to go ahead and clear up initial pass.
There's a tough formation of Duke blockers up there. I see Skellalore and Deuce and Agony both being braced.
Kells Inferno in there as well. And Bo Derelict takes advantage of the Duke blockers. They're actually just kind of inadvertently blocking SoCal blockers. 4 on the board, but let's see what happens.
Kraken trying to get all their blockers to the front. Did with a few of them. Let's see if there are any easy points here for Duke.
So 0 for SoCal. The pressure was on, but no points given.
1 for Duke.
1 point. Nicely done by the SoCal blockers protecting their points.
Yeah. Yeah, they had 1 in the back there, and the other 3 all got up front and were not easy points.
On the jammer line, 360 in white. That's Isabel Ringer again. Number 80 on black. Meep. Meep working the outside to the inside. Able to get a hip check and picks up lead for Duke.
Fancy moves. Nice work by Meep. Isabel Ringer has now cleared the pack as well, ready for a scoring pass. Meep on one already into the pack, calling things off. Did she get the hips around anybody? One blocker.
Again, fantastic jamming and blocking. Blockers protected their points. Jammer puts the pressure on even without lead. It's the second jam where only 1 point goes up on the board. On the jammer line, Bruce Lee versus Bam.
Duke short 1 blocker. Skellalore in the penalty box.
SoCal blockers setting up about 5 feet away from the jam line in a tripod. Knockout is good. Recycle Banff back. Bruce Lee inside, outside, and a track cut called.
Yeah, that's on Bruce Lee. So a power jam for Duke City.
So it's a triple whammy for SoCal. Duke City gets lead, Duke City gets the track cut, and Duke City gets the failure to exit the track. It's going to be a 1-minute power jam, assuming Banff doesn't decide to go to the box.
Wow.
Duke drops defenders back into passive offense. Banff comes through. 4 points on the board.
Pack coming to a stop in the straightaway, and then down the stretch they come into turn 3.
SoCal blockers doing a good job holding the tripod in front, but Banff's able to come through. 4 points on the board.
Down to 2 SoCal blockers on the track. And that's no challenge for Banff, who makes a move to the inside and easily picks up 4 more.
2 not on the track points, puts the 4 up. Banff inside, S curves to the outside, uses a little bit of a whip. Right between the 2 remaining blockers.
Mighty Ducky and Vermilion Valkyr doing what they can at the front of the pack. Not quite enough to stop Banff. Slamurai on the track now, blocking as well for the Kraken. So 3 blockers for each team.
Tantrum from Duke City, headed to the box on a track cut as a blocker. Bruce Lee working viciously against the Duke City tripod. Just barely knocked out at the last moment. Banff puts 4 more on the board, and that's the 2-minute jam.
2 minutes, and gosh, a lot of points there for Duke.
So I was real curious coming into this game because these are the 2 teams at Dust Devil that are playing 2 games today.
Right.
Both SoCal and Duke City came in, missed Friday, so they weren't able to play on Friday, obviously, but played 1 game each yesterday, 2 games today.
Right.
And they get to close out the fantastic weekend.
Looks like the Muñecas may be holding up a little bit better, but nice work there on that sweep from outside to inside by SoCal, getting Isabel Linger lead jammer status.
Outside lanes 3 and 4 were both wide open. Isabel takes advantage, puts up 4 points.
And that makes sense when you look and see the 2 Duke City blockers in the penalty box. You've only got to sweep those 2 blockers out of the way, and you can get one of those lines.
One of the things I'm seeing from SoCal, too, a lot of the teams we've seen have difficulty with the sweep over this weekend. So you would see a 4-2. The blocking would be there, but it wouldn't be as efficient as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Not having this problem today from SoCal or Duke. SoCal calls off the jam, 4 points on the board. Isabel Ringer, just like that, putting up 12 points for the Kraken. An official review called for Duke City.
Oh. So again, last call for the RollerCon MVP raffle tickets. We're going to draw that raffle at halftime. Gosh, of our final bout. I feel like I just got here at 10 a.m. on Friday, and the weekend's flown past, Barth.
I don't.
You feel every minute you've been here and had to sit next to me.
No, I do feel it, and it's fantastic, and I hate to see that it's coming to a close. But, yeah, last call on the raffle tickets, last call on the merch. Go get the merch. Tucson Roller Derby has fantastic merchandise. A lot of the other teams have been bringing it. I'm going home with a couple of patches, stickers, and pins from the visiting teams who have been amazing.
I got some Humboldt patches, or Humboldt. I got a sticker. I got an enamel pin. I got a koozie. I got a couple of patches from FOCO.
Made some new friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tucson
Made some new
in
friends
March.
And hung out with some old friends.
Oh, we're old friends.
Oh, I'm old and you're my friend, so that's how it works.
We go back to the days of the Jammer Lap Point.
Like 6 months ago.
Don't judge me.
Days of yore.
It's quality, not quantity. And the official reviews back to the captains and coaches. We'll see what happened.
Getting the word on the review right now as the officials are also giving the word to the coaches and captains out in the middle of the track. Captain Crush and
So it looks like on
Diesel out there. Sorry. Go ahead, Barth. What happened on the review?
No, you got it. Duke City was requesting a back block against one of the blockers. No. Not a blocker, jammer. From SoCal. Was not observed by the refs. No call stands. Official review is lost for the first half.
Like tears in rain. All right, lead jammer number 1022, Heartland for SoCal. Holly Seidel completing an initial pass for Duke.
Quick jam. No points on the board. Fantastic job by the blockers protecting. 0-0 up. Slamurai versus Bo Derelict on the jammer line.
Full complements of blockers now for each team. 4 of each.
And And we're off. SoCal taking the rear line on the jammer line. Successful knockout on Bo Derelict. Duke City set up toward the front, was able to catch. However, Slamurai, if we've seen anything so far, is a power skater. Takes advantage, push out.
Bo Derelict completing an initial pass as well, so both jammers ready to score. Samurai gets back to the pack, calls things off, picks up 2 points.
Quick, get your points and get off the track. I know impartiality, which technically doesn't exist in announcing, I don't care. Slamurai is going to be one of my favorite skaters coming out of this tournament.
Sure.
Bar none. Just mark it, put it on Twitter, I don't care. Isabel Ringer versus Meep Meep.
Both jammers starting to the inside, and it is Meep Meep that gets through. Lead Jammer Muñecas.
Meep Meep approaching. Pack starts to slow down between turns 1 and 2.
Oh, Isabel Ringer got free from the pack, but called for a high block, trying to get past Skellalore. So a power jam for Duke City.
SoCal blockers doing a great job, though, dropping one. Continually picking up at the last second, able to knock Meep out, recycle all the way back, and there's a tripod. Meep Meep, though, taking the the inside line, 4 points on the board.
It's a trademark terrific dexterity of Meep Meep, allowing that move to the inside. Pack speeding up now, coming into turn 3. Meep Meep splits blockers and gets through for another 4-point pass. Mighty Ducky not quite able to hold back Meep Meep.
Isabel Ringer working up against Skellalore. One more. Kells Inferno just able to knock out, except win out of bounds also. So Isabel is free. Unearned pass, and that's the jam.
You didn't say it, I set you up for it.
What?
You didn't say it, I was going to say it. 12 more for the Muñecas brings them into triple digits.
And official review called by SoCal.
All right, now technically on the jam line, we before that we had Heartland and Banff, 10, 22, and 10. Not a palindrome, but
I mean, if you write them fast enough, 102210.
if you write anything fast enough,
if you squint and you shake your head, it kind of looks like you wrote zebra.
all right.
And as we're in this official review here, take a quick moment to recognize the officials on this game. Been doing a fantastic job. I don't remember if this is Alpha or Bravo team. Really doesn't matter because these are the refs.
There's 2 A teams this weekend, Barth. They're all terrific.
Oh, there's no question. Only Alpha and Beta, Alpha and Beta. Alpha and Bravo, just simply a question of who's on which.
Alpha and other Alpha.
Right. 1A and 1A. And on the lineup, though, on the track now, we have Snapdragon, Ultraviolet Blue, Molly Sure, Needle Fury. Wow. Needle Fever. It's not like I haven't said these names all weekend in great appreciation. Jenny Fear, Snarkomedes, Extra Crispy, Zoonotic, Pat Sweeney, Catastrophe, Nitsuji, Danger Muffin, Dillygaff, Graffy, Jose Conscado, Noah Fallon, X-Ray Ted, and Fibonacci.
There's so many great ones there. Danger Muffin is one of my all-time favorite roller derby names, though. Shout out to Danger Muffin. And looks like there has been a decision on the review. The officials talking to the captains and the coaches. Kells Inferno and Bryn Diesel out there. Kells Inferno, Captain Crush out there for Duke. Bryn Diesel and Reckham Ralph for SoCal. And finishing the explanations. All right, fill us in, Barth.
So it looks like SoCal was asking for a back block against the Duke Jammer. No call stands. Official review lost.
So 0 for 2 in the first half.
Or 2 for 2 for the officials.
They got everything right. Correct. Yep. Great point.
As expected. On the Jammer line.
You flipped it and reversed it.
Always stay positive. Banff against Heartland. The battle of the punctuation. Banff knocked down hard into lane 4.
There was a whistle. Not sure quite what it was for, but we have a whistle for lead jammer. That goes to Heartland from SoCal.
Heartland approaching the pack. Banff exiting initial.
Each team losing one blocker. As the pack draws itself back towards the pivot line, and Heartland calls things off with a Banff fast approaching Banff.
Almost like a nightcrawler of sorts.
Maybe. Kind of like the wild Barth that appeared earlier.
You people in the Facebook jokes. On the jammer line, Slamurai versus Hollis-Idle. Going to start with a 3-on-3 blocker setup, so no advantage at the moment. Jammers having a little discussion up to the whistle, where both jammers immediately took off full speed.
I hope they're coordinating some karaoke songs to do at the after party.
And Hollis-Idle picks up lead. Lead jammer, Duke City. Hollis-Idle comes out, spins in. Let's see. A minute, maybe. Little conference.
It's a well-timed call-off. Slamurai was almost back to the pack there. 3 points.
3-0 on that jam. Meep Meep versus Isabel Ringer.
The Meep Ringer pair again. Still 3-on-3 in the pack. Meep trying to get the inside. Isabel Ringer hanging back. A little bit of a pile-up just short of the pivot line. Ringer gets up, sprints to the outside, takes lead jammer. Isabel Ringer for the Kraken.
Credit Electric Piranha on the knockout and a huge recycle, about, 25, 30 feet almost, required for Meep. That opens up lead for Isabel.
What did we decide? Part fish, part boogaloo?
All I know is you need a boogaloo. That's all that matters. I tell you what it does, though. Puts 4 points on the board.
That it do.
Isabel Ringer coming out with 4 for the Kraken.
Duke City executing a star pass in the meantime. The handoff going to Kells Inferno, number 9 in black.
Isabel Ringer, nice sweep. I wish we tracked more actual stats for blockers. Riled up was just right on the hip of a Duke blocker, pushed inward, lane 4 wide open.
Yeah, I another one where I feel like we've seen a lot of riled up this weekend, and good plays jamming, good plays blocking. Unfortunately, in the penalty box right now, I feel like we may have jinxed that one, but it happens.
Maybe a worth it. Sometimes skaters say it. I don't know.
Somebody said it yesterday. Somebody on Fort Collins skated past the penalty box and said, worth it. It was a moment of beauty. I can't tell you who.
It was enjoyable, absolutely. Bo Derelict on the line versus Heartland. And Bo Derelict pressing forward, gets the out of play, and lead jammer.
I don't see a star on any helmet for SoCal right now. I do see Vermilion Valkyr, number 33, fighting to get to the front. Valkyr's wearing the pivot stripe.
Bo comes out, 4 points on the board, coming back for more.
And there's the star, the complete star pass to Vermilion Valkyr. Trying to have a scoring pass. Duke will not let her.
But neither did Duke put any points up, so a fantastic job on the star pass and the catch-up to apply pressure.
Yeah, Duke already had one pass in, so I mean a 4-0 jam, they'll still take that.
Beats an 8-0 jam.
They've got a lead.
Uh-huh.
You know, they ran a little bit of clock. That's strategically all good things for Duke City. They'll give their jammer star here to number 10 in black, Banff.
Up against number 7 in white, Slamurai. Slamurai with some lateral movements, able to lead the Duke blockers on the outside, ran past her own jammer or blockers. Lead jammer, SoCal.
Duke short, an important blocker there. They're all important, of course, but Killer Queen in the penalty box. New shiny gold helmet for Duke.
Slamurai comes through, 4 points, Kraken. Bam still working against the SoCal defense. All 4 blockers to the front, letting Slamurai do all of the offensive work for the moment. Banff recycled back in turn 2. Slamurai working against Skelador, pushing. There it is. 4 points on the board.
Banff trying to chase down Slamurai. Slamurai looking over the shoulder, calling off the jam on the way into the pack and taking 1 point to 0 on that pass for SoCal.
Efficient play there. 9 points on the board for SoCal versus 0 for Las Muñecas Muertas. 117-40 in favor of Duke City, going into jam number 23.
Oh, okay, jam number 23, minute and a half left. Probably not going to get to 26 like that second half of our last bout.
I still need a nap after that. Isabel Ringer, Meep on the line. Isabel Ringer inside line. Kels Inferno catches, but both jammers out quickly. Oh, and a penalty against Isabel Ringer right before lead was called. So lead was eligible. A lead was open for Meep, who picks up lead jammer Duke City. Meep working the outside. Able to stay in bounds from the hit. 4 points on the board.
Rogrammer rejoining the pack for SoCal, giving them 3 blockers once again.
Meep approaching, runs into Vermilion Valkyr. Takes the inside to the outside, 4 more on the board.
Yeah, picks that one blocker, runs into them, and then cuts to the outside of the other one.
A move that I've seen Rachel Rotten start to grow rather used to from Angel City as a primary jammer. If you don't know, kids, pull up the YouTubes. But for now, stay on this game. Heads up move by the Duke blockers, able to cycle in front. Meep working.
If I remember right, Angel City was last here in 2011. They finished 3rd at that Dust Devil behind Carolina and Tucson. They've come a long way.
Dust Devil, y'all have some you have some good moments to hang your hat on.
We do. One of I think that's going to be our halftime here. We're going to go into halftime. 129 for the Muñecas, 40 for the Kraken.
I mean, how do you pick against Rose City for the Hydra when, let's be honest, Rose City's been 1 or 2 for how long at this point?
Many moons.
Huge. But how do you pick against Denver?
Yeah, I heard they got a transfer skater or 2 in. I don't know. They might be good.
A couple.
Hashtag Mile Hydra.
Although arch rival, still my dark horse again. And on the jammer line, Meep for Duke City. No, that is not Meep.
No.
Excuse me, Holly
Seidel.
For Duke City.
You got fooled. Both the teams switched out blockers, I think, right before the jam started.
Speaking of VRDL. Isabel Ringer on the line, also in white. Holly Seidel, 4 points on the board for Duke City. Isabel Ringer into the middle of the 4 Duke City blockers. Holly Seidel to the outside of the SoCal blockers. Just with a trip, able to get caught. Isabel Ringer to the inside, not knocked out of bounds. That time was. Holly Seidel, 4 points on the board for Duke City. Killer Queen pressing to the inside of Isabel Ringer. And that's the jam. No points on the last pass, but an 8-point jam for Las Muñecas Muertas from Duke City. Looks like riled up for SoCal is going to start in the box. And starting on the jam line, we're looking at Heartland and Bo Derelict.
4 blockers just in front of that jam line for each team.
4 for Duke, at least.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. It's a SoCal blocker, not the jammer, in the box.
Felt like 30 seconds.
So it's an advantage.
Heartland's not impressed with the advantage. Going to take lead by herself. Now coming through, lead jammer for SoCal. Coming for points. Duke blockers on the backside. Heartland splits the blockers. puts the 4 points on the board and calls off the jam before Bo Derlick could hit the pack. 4 points, Kraken.
Scored the points there, but SoCal will start this next jam with 2 blockers in the box. They will give their star to Slamurai.
Add a pivot to the 2 blockers in the box for SoCal.
Oh my goodness.
But Duke City's sending a blocker, so we've got a 1 to 3, 1 to 2.
Okay, yeah, so 1 blocker for the Kraken on the track right now. 10-11 Rogue Rammer.
Meep using the inside hop, picks up lead. That's Bamf, excuse me. Why do I keep thinking Meep's out there? Bamf versus Slamurai.
About 14, buddy. We're gonna mess up some stuff.
3 points on the board for Duke City.
And we will once again start with blockers in the box. 2 there for SoCal, 1 for Duke City. Duke City will turn to Meep for jamming responsibilities.
There's Meep.
There's Meep. Hi, Meep.
And there's Isabel Ringer for SoCal.
Getting hyped up, jumping around.
Boat Jammers looking at lane 1 to the inside. Isabel working a little bit of jammer protection. Acting as a blocker, comes out though, picks up leads. SoCal.
Meep took some big hits at the back of that pack from the SoCal blockers before taking off the star and trying to get past. Now hit to the outside. Meep coming back in. Isabel Ringer on a scoring pass coming into turn 2. Meep completes the initial pass.
Isabel Ringer comes out, calls off the jam, but I think we're about to have 4 more points on the board.
Brings SoCal up to 48.
And on the jammer line, that looks like 2-4. That looks like Smack out there. Up against 1022, Heartland for SoCal.
Smack Hillary.
Smack.
Okay, terrific.
And we're off. Smack working the inside line. Heartland working a little bit in lane 2, more toward the center. Smack comes out. Lead jammer, Duke City. Heartland clears out. Going to come around on initial pass. Excuse me.
A little shoulder shimmy by Smack as she reached the pack. Calls things off with SoCal jammer fast approaching. Were there points scored? Ooh, a 2-point steal for the Kraken.
I don't think that call off could have come a hair later. It looked like Heartland got in there just at the end of the 4th whistle, so just too late to pick up the point. Meep up against Isabel Ringer.
Once again, and a 3-on-3 pack.
Meep up on the center. Isabel Ringer trying to work a little bit of the outside center lane, pushing the Duke blockers forward, picks up leads, SoCal.
Meep taking the star off the helmet, held up by the pivot line.
Isabel's back in, knocked down, and cycled back by Skeller.
Riled up and Rogue Rammer doing a terrific job holding back Meep. Meep eventually knocked to the outside, now having to recycle behind Skellar and Swear and Marie.
Kind of a fun little moment to look back on there. Both jammers were knocked out. One knocked out of bounds on the inside, one knocked out of bounds on the outside. The run back was coming. Yeah, it just kept drawing everybody back.
Yeah. Everybody recycled behind everybody else, and it was beautiful chaos.
One of those moments the jammers are like, please stop. Meep approaches the pack. Isabel sees her coming, calls off the jam. 2 points on the board. SoCal.
Kraken seems to be kind of whittling away maybe at the lead, just a couple points at a time.
How do you eat an elephant?
Probably with a fork, I hope. Big knife. With a big knife.
Jeff would be so disappointed in you.
You don't eat an elephant in one bite, is what he would say.
1013, homicidical. up on the jammer line, up against number 7, Slamurai.
Like that?
Homicidical coming through just like a big knife, picking up lead. Wouldn't a big knife just be a sword? Anyway. Blockers working against the defense. Homicidical lane 1 wide open with everybody focused on Slamurai coming through.
I feel like a small sword is a dagger, so what's the difference between a knife and a dagger?
Yep.
I know that Slamurai cut through the pack like a dagger.
Multiplayer block called against Duke City. Gonna send one to the box.
All the cutlery analogies, all of them.
Slamurai comes through. Call off just before. 2 points on the board, Duke City. On the jammer line, Heartland versus Bo Derelict.
4-3 pack advantage for SoCal. Captain Skellalore for Duke City in the box, where she will sit and feel shame.
Shame what?
That's what happens when you go to the penalty box. You sit and feel shame.
You would hope. I think sometimes they feel relief. Asking for a friend. Oh, Derelict working against the backside of the defense. Heartland, lead jammer, SoCal. I really feel like we have to make use of that exclamation mark on Heartland's name, so I will. Bo Derelict.
I feel the same way about Banff. I want to go BAM every time, but it's also really loud in here when I do it. Sorry, everybody.
Doesn't help with the B, spit on the microphone. Nobody wants that. Heartland coming from behind, has lead. Bo Derelict able to clear path. 4 points on the board. Heartland just met coming a Duke blocker, I believe, came out of the box. Caught Heartland just on the backside. Forces the call off. See if we get any points in the pocket. Nothing going up for the Muñecas in black. Small discussion between the 1 point going up for SoCal.
It's always good conference when they get things right. Oh, 2 points?
There you go. Slamurai versus Banff.
Blockers coming on and off the track at the last minute. We'll have a 3-3 pack.
Looks like Swearin Marie from Duke City probably ended that jam heading to the box. And that's lead jam. Banff magically appearing in front of the blockers. Not really, completely earned it and pushed forward for it. Slamurai from SoCal. Banff approaching the pack. Passes on the outside line. Let's see, was that a full? All 4 points on the pass.
Riling up, free of the penalty box, however, for the Kraken. Swearin Marie still in the penalty box.
Smack versus Heartland.
Galaxy Cat tights? Galaxy Cat? Is that what tights on? And lead jammer goes to SoCal. Heartland on a scoring pass. Smack held up near the pivot line, knocked to the outside of the track by 303. The captain, Wreckham Ralph.
I'm going to whisper it. Penalty box is clear. And everybody just pushing. Killer Queen dropped as a bridge to hold the pack. Smack knocked out of bounds, cycled all the way back. Heartland, 4 points on the board. Smack still trying to work against that SoCal defense. That tripod is not moving. Just enough of an inside line for the toe stops, though. But no, not legal. That's a track cut. Power jams, SoCal.
You can't do that. That's cheating. They penalize you.
The good old penalty. Wait. No, excuse me. It looks like there was a return to the track. But Heartland takes advantage, puts the 4 points up. Moments like this, I'm glad to not see the jammer lap point because that would have been a pain to try to figure out how that broke down. So Heartland's going to put 4 points up. That is the grand slam.
Yeah, my brain would explode trying to figure that one out.
Smack standing against the tripod, drops shoulders, starts to push the 3 white jerseys forward. Heartland working on the outside line, just knocked out of bounds and recycled.
Neither skater really finding any daylight in that straightaway between turns 2 and 3. And both get knocked to the outside. Now it's Smack recycling.
Heartland from the outside, toe stops on the inside, just knocked out of bounds a hair, and that's 2 minutes. That's the jam.
Sounds like we have a team timeout being called by the SoCal Kraken right now. Normally I'd tell people to buy raffle tickets, and I suppose you can still grab a beer maybe. Never too late for that. Hey, you know what I will tell you? That after party, we're starting at 8 o'clock at La Cocina, which is, of course, Spanish for the Cocina. 201 North Court Avenue. All ages from 8 to 10. Don't get there before 8. There won't be anybody there. They'll probably get angry and throw tacos at you. Oh, no, hold on. That'd be good. They'll get angry and they won't give you any tacos.
Boo.
Right? There will be vegan, vegetarian, and meat taco options. Full bar, karaoke, 21 and over after 10 p.m., from 8 to 10 p.m., all ages. And before 8 p.m., if you show up, you will be heckled and denied tacos. No one will share tacos with you.
That actually made me sad.
Right?
Like, who comes to Tucson and doesn't get tacos at some point?
You got to.
Who lives in Tucson and doesn't get tacos at some point?
I eat tacos or burritos like at least twice a week.
Quiero más tacos, por favor.
You never know looking at me.
Meet. Up against Isabel Ringer.
It's the meat bringer.
Isabel Ringer took a position about 15 feet back, got the running start. Meet, open up the hole. Both jammers through. Jams called off. No points on the board.
Who got lead on that, Meep? Did Meep get lead and call it?
Yeah.
All right.
Meep did get lead on that. But again, they were just hip and hip. So
for anyone scoring at home.
Fair point. Holocytical on the jammer line for Duke City. And it looks like Isabel Ringer, after a short conference with the bench, is going to get a second chance as jammer.
Who needs to go back to the bench and rest? Not Isabel Ringer.
Coach goes, that was a short jam. Stay out there. Isabel running forward. Picks up lead. Maybe that's a strategy to run from now on. Isabel Ringer comes through. Lead jammer, SoCal.
From here on out, the next 16 minutes of the bout, all Isabel Ringer all the time.
Yeah, go ahead and tell her that so she can hear it.
I would never say that to her. She's a nice person, and I don't want to make her mad at me.
Isabel pushing against all the blockers at this point. Holocytical is out of the pack. Two points on the board, SoCal. Nice little greeting. Bo Derelict to Slammerai on the jammer line saying hello.
Yeah, sports personship, talking over their jamming for the day, no doubt. Slammerai out there in white, Bo Derelict for Duke City in black.
Of course, as a sports fan, you always sit there and wonder, are they talking about gear? Are they talking about strategy? Chances are they're just talking about something completely innocuous, but because it's just a fun time. Slammerai outside, inside, with the jersey whip. Not able to get in front of any of the blockers on that as they reform. But Bo Derelict's able to take the outside line, picks up lead, Duke City.
Penalty to the Kraken, number 33, Vermilion Valker, a multiplayer. Slammerai trying to get in between those Duke City blockers in turn 3. Going into the chest of Hell's Inferno.
Derelict's able to come out. Slammerai just with the shiniest mouth guard, smiling the whole time. And Bo Derelict's back out of the pack again. 4 points on the board. Big hit on the straightaway. That's going to send Cellular to the box with a forearm penalty.
Vermilion Valkyr putting the helmet cover on. The star helmet cover that now makes her the jammer.
Cycle back for quite a while. Killer Queen and Kel's Inferno. Gives Vermilion Valkyr a nice running start. Inside line, though, Killer Queen stops. Multiplayer block is going to go ahead and send a SoCal blocker to the box. Bo Derelict takes advantage, picks up 4 more points.
Vermilion Valkyr completing the initial pass for SoCal. And you know that was, I know there's a penalty involved there, but there's some good defense because that happened about 5 seconds before the end of the jam.
Ran that one as far as they could. Bo Derelict did, though, call that off. Picked up 4 points at the last possible moment and called.
Total of 16 on that one for the Muñecas Muertas.
Battle of the exclamation marks. Heartland! Bam!
Just under 13 minutes left. One Kraken blocker still in the penalty box. All 4 out there for Duke.
Heartland helping out a bit there with some blocking with the star on helmet. Penalty called. Killer Queen headed to the box with a multiplayer, but Banff picks up lead.
Bam. Heartland's still fighting into turn 3 and getting to the inside of Harley Darlin, completing the initial pass.
Bamfrey approaching, cycled out, a nice blocker move, just popped back just one more time, made her hesitate for a moment. So Rogue Rammer doing a good job making sure Banff had to think about it for a moment, called off the jam, 2 points on the board, Duke City. Meep up against Isabel Ringer.
Blockers moving forward towards the pivot line. 4 of them out there for SoCal, 3 for Duke.
Lead jammer, Isabel Ringer.
Nice work through on the outside. Meep. Does see some daylight and get through the pack as well.
Fantastic sweep, got Isabel through the first set of blockers. Held up by 1, looks like though 4 points going on the board, past the hips before the call off.
2 points for Meep though. Knocked down as the jam ended, scoring those points before going to her knees.
Up looks like 3 points.
3, we got a thumb. It's like a Ninja Turtle.
That's what separates us from the animals. Smack on the line. I believe that's Slamurai. We'll find out in a moment.
It is.
I was right.
Of course you are.
Don't tell my wife. Cycle, everybody coming back. Blockers from the jammer line. Smack working outside a little bit. Slamurai trying to take the outside as well. Duke blockers moved over though. Lead jammer is called to Smack, who's knocked out of bounds. Recycled back 20 feet behind the jam line, but has lead, needs to do it all over again.
Complicated happenings in the pack there for certain as it returns to its full strength. 5-on-5 roller derby.
Some good offensive help by Kel's Inferno from Duke, setting up in the middle of the tripod, causing a little bit of frustration. SoCal blocker heads to the box with a direction penalty. Smack comes through. Initial pass is good. Slamurai comes through, clears initial. Smack working against these SoCal defenders. Calls off the jam, looks like 3 sets of hips were passed, 3 points on. Great set of plays there by the blockers to hold that to a 3-point jam. I'm always kind of proud of the blockers when you don't see 4 go up.
Yeah, same. And whether that's just through tough blocking or awareness where they get to the front of a pack so that they're not an easy pickings at the back. Either way, that's good blocking.
Absolutely. Heartland against Holocytical. Holocidal, wow. Turned holocidal into an adjective. I guess that works, though.
Well, right now she's turned into lead jammer.
Boom. Bam. Well, I don't know what exclamation to Heartland. And reapproaching the pack. Clearing SoCal blockers. One more SoCal blocker. 4 points on the board. Duke City.
Heartland still trying to get around Eiffel Terror for Duke. That is knocked out, having to recycle. Back to turn 2.
A little bit of equipment around turn number 1, but it's off the track. Everybody's piling up coming into turn 4. Heartland able to clear initial pass right in front of Holocidal. Calls out the jam. Somebody's missing a wrist guard. Hard part.
Safety first. Make sure you're wearing your wrist guard.
Yep.
Your helmet, your knee pads, your elbow pads.
What goes on last?
My pants, usually.
I think they would say the skates.
Oh, yeah, right, for the skaters, sure.
Official timeout called. Looked like a little bit of confusion from the bench, the SoCal bench. Swapping out on a penalty.
Okay, so yes, Meep and Ringer jamming. 3-on-3 in our packs.
And it looks like the confusion there was a foul out. Nocturne Alley.
Number 934 in white for the Kraken.
Yep, going to be leaving the game, so that will give a pack disadvantage for just a moment, as you said. But that puts Meep and Isabel Ringer on the line again.
Meep to the inside, Ringer to the outside. Meep jumping back out. Ringer doing the opposite and coming to the inside. Ringer moving the pack forward and taking lead in turn 2. Lead jammer, Isabel Ringer, SoCal.
Isabel
Meep
coming back for points.
Meep has taken the star off. Couple skaters going down the apex between 1 and 2. Now the pack moving into turn 2. Isabel Ringer getting through, scoring points. 4 more for the Kraken.
SoCal with a great move. Meep had the inside line on turn 2 when all those blockers went down. Looked like a hole to take. Easily closed up quickly. Ended up Meep made it another 40, 50 feet before they could finish up initial pass. Coming out, points on the board. 3 points, SoCal before the jam is called off.
Yeah, that one's a 7-0 for SoCal. Our team in white and purple. It's purple. That looks purple to you, right? Purple and green and white.
Mm-hmm.
Duke City's in black and green.
And looks like an official review called.
Ooh. We had a couple of those in the first half. This is our first and second half, isn't it?
Feels like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's called by SoCal. And we see Wreckham Ralph and Captain Crush out there. I keep mixing that up. Captain Crush is one of Duke's coaches.
Kells Inferno out there is the captain for Duke.
Right. It's Wreckham Ralph and Bryn Diesel, one of the coaches for the Kraken out there, representing SoCal in the official review.
So it looks like the review is gone into the officials who are looking. So that puts us at Duke City 189, SoCal Derby 83. According to the scoreboard, it looks like this is actually a Duke City official review. And yes, our wonderful jam timer confirms that.
Change that.
But it also looks like SoCal lost their official review.
So the refs, giving an explanation, discussing what happened during the review and what they think. Coaches nodding. And going back to the benches, what do you got, Barth?
So it looks like the Duke was asking for a blocking a down skater penalty against the SoCal Jammer. However, it was determined that there was no impactful contact made. So the no call will stand, and Duke City will go home without an official review.
I'm glad. Blocking down skaters sounds dangerous, so I'm glad that wasn't the case.
Heads up play, though, to even kind of call that as a coach. It's not a penalty you see that often. So good to try to kind of to know the rule book and make the call. But the officials are better at it usually. Everybody, we still, there we go. Meep comes out with lead Jammer. Did a real quick scan of the Jam refs. I was noticing all the hands are behind, but that has changed. SoCal with a successful star pass. So it looks like number 3-3, Vermillion Valker again. Meep knocked down, calls off the Jam, 3 points on the board. On the jammer line. First time jamming, I believe, in this game. Riled up for SoCal against Bo Derelict for Duke City.
Yeah, Riled Up did a lot of jamming earlier in the weekend, but not so much in this game.
And sometimes that'll lead to that decision. Is sometimes you have 2 hard-hitting games. You kind of need to take it a little easier on the third game.
Sure, maybe throw on somebody fresher into your rotation that hasn't jammed as much. Makes sense.
Now, what does that say about Riled Up as a skater, though? Riled Up's been out there as a blocker for the majority of the game.
For sure.
So, yeah, jamming, go ahead and take a break. Why don't you go block? Bo Derelict picks up lead for Duke City. Coming in, takes the instruction from the bench. Calls off the jam. No points on the board.
They were both right there. Riled Up about to score.
I think that led into the decision. Riled Up had the inside line. Bo Derelict had the outside line. If you've ever done anything with circles, the inside's always going to be shorter.
Truth. And had some Duke blockers, I think, towards the back there, which meant you couldn't get forward and score as many points before Riled Up got there. All right.
Heartland.
Bam.
Feel like I need to call Jammer. Bam taking the inside line. Heartland's got this front. Heartland, lead Jammer, SoCal. Ooh, big hit coming out of turn 2. Looks like a low block is going to be assessed.
Correct.
Yeah, that was one of those. I did it. I know I did it, and I'm sorry. Bam! Initial pass is clear.
And Heartland makes a scoring pass for 4 points. And the Kraken knows they're at a deficit here and wants to see if they can get in a few more points while they've got lead, I'm sure. So Heartland still running the jam, picking up 4 more.
Looks like an illegal contact penalty is going to send a SoCal blocker to the box. I missed the other. I did see a low block penalty now, so we've got a couple blockers in the box for SoCal, 1 for Duke City. Bamf's out there picking up points.
Blockers in the box for both teams as well.
Heartland putting 4 points on the board as well. Still holds lead, not that it can be lost and while you're still out there. Bamf cycled back about 20 feet behind the pack. Heartland looks to the bench, says please, and calls off the jam.
Points for everybody there, though. 12 for the Muñecas, 15 for the Kraken.
Nice high-scoring jam.
204, the total for Duke. 98 for SoCal, just on the precipice of adding another column to their score.
Isabel Ringer going to do something about that, hopefully. Meep for Duke City.
We're being rickrolled. Last bow. Good job, Pariah.
Meep got 1 more white jersey in front. Knockdown. Picks up lead. Duke City. So Isabel looking like yielding to avoid the track cut, but does get called on a forearm. Power jam, Duke City.
Ringer joined there by one of her blockers. Banff gets knocked down. Excuse me, Meep gets knocked down in turn 3.
Looks like Rogram was called on a forearm on that hit, headed to the box. Meep, on the other hand, putting 4 points on the board.
Little collision between Electric Piranha and Meep Meep. Just out of turn 3, and Meep Meep will pick up that point to make 4 points on the pass.
Electric Piranha, one of those blockers that does I just love the big solid hit, comes up smiling. Totally worth it. That was a blast. Do it again. Heartland, Homicidal. Holicidal. Only been saying it for the last hour. Holicidal.
4-2 pack advantage for the Muñecas. Holicidal trying to get to the front and does take advantage. Gets lead jammer for Duke City.
Everybody's coming out of turn 1. And a back block called against Holicidal, so this is going to be a power jam, SoCal.
And a 2-minute jam since Holicidal was our lead jammer.
Heartland looking around as we said that. I hope that wasn't coaching. However, Heartland kind of looking around. Earlier, jam was, thank God it's over. This one, going to go the full 2. 4 points on the board. Heartland reapproaching, taking advantage of one fewer Duke block. Kel's in front of the last one to beat, picks up 4 more.
Holicidal released from the confines of the penalty box. Back on the track, pushing against some SoCal blockers. Holicidal in the pack. Heartland scoring the points for SoCal. About 14, Barth.
Wreckham Ralph living up to her name. Great shoulder hit, completely legal. Did not draw a direction penalty because it was perfectly done. Pull the tape on that hit. Holicidal coming in for more points. 3-wall turns into a tripod, but a multiplayer block's going to go ahead and break that up. Holicidal sent out of bounds on the inside, recycled back. Outside lines open, puts 4 more on the board right before the 2 minutes is up. Wow, really?
That second half went a little bit fast, Party on Barth.
Woo! So we're looking at an unofficial score. Las Muñecas Muertas, the Duke City Roller Derby, 224. Kraken from SoCal Derby, 109. Wait on the official score there, but that's the end of the Dust Devil.
That's the end of the 2019 Dust Devil. Hey, you want to think about it for a second? Who would, if you had to give an MVP award, who you go with, Barth?
For the tournament
for
or
the
for the
tournament?
Game? Oh, that's not fair. Man. So are we looking at an overall, or are we still breaking this up into jammers and blockers?
However you want to do it.
I mean, in terms of blocker, Cookie on Happy Valley was amazing.
Big hits from Cookie, for sure.
Cookie was fantastic. Kilroy from North Star.
Kilroy did so much good work, a lot of pivot work, took the star a few times, just right place, right time. Kilroy was terrific.
And I will say this with Kilroy, and this is one of the downfalls of being an announcer. Most of the time when we're the ones calling out the quote-unquote better performing blocker, it's the pivots we're calling because we're always focused on who has the star. Kilroy was doing it on both sides. So Kilroy did fantastic. Killer Queen multiple times made big plays. Swearin' Marie was out there for Duke City. Oh, man. Vermilion Valker on SoCal. I feel like we're even missing a team here.
Oh, we're definitely missing teams. We're missing Tucson.
FOCO.
We're missing FOCO.
Yeah, I'd need a good 40
so
minutes
hard.
with all the rosters.
It's so hard.
Yeah, that's
Well, shout out to a few of those skaters, and shout out to everybody who skated in the 2019 Dust Devil.
I'm far beyond my wishes. We took our surfboards down to the swell of wonder. 7 days in the deep sea. I'm free like a gypsy going wild. Weekend is gone, but I can't forget the feeling. How brave we were, beyond ourselves, joining forces.
Take me home to the sea where I feel alive. Always try to feel spirit.